What's up? It's me, Kevin, back with another one. Hope you like this new setup I got going on here. This is an experiment. Instead of these crappy car videos or being outside all the time, I think I'm going to try another indoor video. I'm still waiting on my mic to come in. My audio is probably going to be pretty bad, pretty shitty, so I apologize for that. And I'm probably going to get interrupted like 50,000 times. But anyway, let's get into it. So, I want to talk a little bit about self-worth. Understanding your self-worth and learning how to put yourself first. So we're often told not to be selfish. We're often conditioned to be selfless, to want to help others and serve others, even to our own detriment. Well, I don't disagree. I certainly think it's good to be helpful, good to help others. Sometimes you gotta take care of yourself. You can't just ignore yourself and your own needs. Sometimes it's helpful when you actually take care of yourself. It's okay to be a little selfish sometimes. Sometimes that might mean cutting somebody off, cutting somebody out of your life. You might have somebody who has been like an energy vampire, like a leech. They cling on to you and they essentially just suck time and energy and resources from you. Sometimes you might not be able to totally cut them off, but it helps to have boundaries. It helps to kind of control the amount of time you spend around them. Or even at a job, at a toxic, if you're working at a certain workplace or a certain type of work, don't feel bad to try to take some more time for yourself. Take that vacation. If you're working a lot, see if you can get your hours reduced. And even if you have aspirations, you have goals, things you want to do in life, like starting a business or doing something, pursuing a certain path in life, and not everybody's going to be on board. Not everybody's going to agree with you. And sometimes you're just going to have to accept that. As I like to say, you're your own greatest advocate. So I'm at this point in my life where I'm forced to choose my next steps. I've worked a lot of boring shit, unfulfilling jobs. I've been there for others, even to my own detriment many times. And people, places, certain situations can really drag you down and really leave you feeling just empty and soulless inside. There's just some things, I haven't had work in a while. I've been out of a job for a while. And even though opportunities come up, a lot of them just don't resonate with me. A lot of them just, I've been there, I've done it, I've experienced it plenty of times. I have nothing, it doesn't offer anything new besides just a paycheck, just survival. Something inside me, I've been kind of trying to find something new. Exploring, it's a time for self-exploration, a time to really reflect on what I want to do. Because, we only have this one life. And maybe this doesn't resonate with everybody. Maybe I just sound like a complete idiot, a complete fool. But I've always been that kind of guy he's been. I always need to have a why. Besides just a paycheck, besides just because I said so, because that's the good thing to do. I need like a deeper reason to why I should do something. And there's some things now, especially the older I get, the less meaningful things mean. The more I require meaning in what I do. I ask myself, will this help me? Will this help me grow? Does this fulfill me in any way? Is there anything new that I can learn? And if not, it's probably not worth my time, not worth investing in. We only have so much time on this earth. You can easily waste it all just fucking around. Now, I say this many times, but I'm pretty sure nobody when they're old is gonna say, I wish I worked more, I wish I did this more. I believe there's a hierarchy of needs. Actually, I think anybody who's studied psychology, they've heard of the hierarchy of needs where, essentially you have the basic survival. That comes first. Food, shelter, water. These things are necessary. You need a roof over your head, you need food. And then I think it's like, I don't quite remember. But it's like food, shelter, water's at the bottom. And then it's kind of more of an interpersonal thing, like relationships, finding friends, having a partner, stuff like that. Once you get past your basics. And the higher you go, the less physical these needs become and the more abstract, the more philosophical. At the highest, you have self-actualization, which is essentially like realizing your greatest potential, which is essentially finding your purpose. So once you have all the other things done, once you have your food, your shelter, once you have people in your lives, there's that final step. Because think of it, there are people out there who are what we would consider very successful. They're making hundreds of thousands, millions, maybe even billionaires out there, but inside there's this emptiness, like something's missing in their life. Oh, money doesn't buy happiness. Well, it sure helps. It certainly helps to a certain degree. But once you get to the point where you're living comfortably and you can take vacation and you can travel and you can pretty much do what you want, eventually you get to the point where that's probably gonna lose its luster in time. And then you're going to be thinking, oh, now what? You hear about this all too often. And think even celebrities, even some of the most famous, successful people we know, they're struggling. They have like mental problems. A lot of them are addicted, have drug problems. It's like, what the fuck? And at the other end, you got those people who just bottom feed, those people who just live for others. And I think if you live for others and you just constantly, you, there's this idea that there's this noble idea that we have to constantly give, even if we have like nothing. We have to give the shirt off our back. It's this whole concept, this whole morality thing. But taken to the extreme, that mentality can just keep you small. It can keep you. There's this book I read, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. If you read that book, I think one of the things talked about in that book was how, sometimes you just got to pay yourself first. Like if you're giving stuff away, paying stuff, you're not going to have anything left for yourself at the end. So, piece of advice, there's this advice that you should pay yourself first. And that could mean, setting up a special fund, or have it so that you take a certain amount of your money and you save it. Before you spend money on anything else, you got to pay yourself first. Because if you keep putting everybody else before you, especially if you're struggling, especially if you're not where you want to be, if you're not in a position where you're really in a strong position where you can provide for others, you're just going to struggle. People will just suck you dry of all your time, your energy, your money, everything. And if you're in the wrong job or the wrong field because your parents pressured you into studying, going to school for a certain field that you don't even care about, doesn't resonate with you, A, you're going to be miserable, and B, you're going to be drowning in student loan debt. You'll be paying that off for goodness knows how long. When you could have just gone after what you truly wanted. And I don't believe anybody can tell you that. I believe the only one who can really tell you that is you. So, I've been trying to prioritize what I actually want and what I actually feel I need to learn, to grow, to get ahead, and to live a fulfilling life. So that was just a little bit of a reflection, a little bit of a ramble. Oh, that's all I got for now. So have a good one. Take care.